So Prime Minister came at around 10 o'clock. Then, he had a lot of energy, of course. He sat through the entire presentation couple of hours and gave really, really good feedback. Right.
Nice.
He was very attentive, and that I had a very, very lasting impression of what all the suggestions which he made. Right. One of the things spoke in this particular session was related to culture and technology. Of course, AI is everywhere. How can India use AI to make its culture alive? We created a character called Mira Nomad.
Okay.
I play computer games, right?
Gotcha.
And one game which stayed with me was Age of Empires.
We all love that.
That's
It's
my
so
favorite game.
addictive.
Right. So
Yeah.
there is a map called Nomad, where you don't get a town center kind of thing. You have to find a
Right.
place, build your city there, right? So we took inspiration from there, and we thought, let's create a model who is a travel influencer. And this is a lady, Indian lady, we created, and we this was couple of months back. We created a video. We brought her to India, and that
Okay.
video went really viral.
Oh,
Okay,
is
on
it?
our
Wow.
screen alone, we got close to 100,000 views within a
Wow.
span of 15 days, right? And
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of FounderStoriesPodcast. Today, we have an interesting guest with us, Pratap Behera of Nagent AI. I and Rashmi are going to have a wonderful time talking to him. Pratap, welcome to the group.
thank you, Satya. Thank you, Rasmi. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Can you share a bit more about yourself and about your journey?
Satya, I'm a serial entrepreneur. This is my third venture that I am doing, Nagent AI, right? And we are building a AI agent platform. And the objective here is to build a lot of agents which can help people like you and me to achieve more with whatever resources we have, right? So that's the whole objective. And at this point of time, we have built a bunch of agents around content creation. And we will talk more about those agents during our podcast, right? And so essentially, when I was, when I was working in companies, one of the problems that we faced is we had to depend on a lot of human resource as such to get things done, right? And as an early stage founder, we would not have those kind of resources, right? When we are working in a large company, these resources would be available to us, but when we are starting something, these resources are very difficult for us to get. And here, so the use cases that we are building are, how can I sort of become a team member of an entrepreneur, of an individual, to increase his or her capability by probably 10x, 100x in the future, right? So I will stop here. Probably we will discuss more about that during the course of the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. So I also wanted to go a little deep into your background, right? So you said this is your serial entrepreneur. This is your third startup. I mean, your journey when we were talking general was amazing. I loved your journey in general. Can you shed a little bit light about your journey, like how you started your professional career and what all you have done?
Yeah. So I started my professional career way back in 2007. Right after my engineering from NIT Trichy, I started working with a company called IBM, right? But I'm a chemical engineer by education. So when I started this job at IBM, I was not very sure what I want to do in life. I was 20, 21 years old, right? So then
were you there programming in mainframes as well?
Not mainframes. Mainly, we started programming for a web application for an insurance company in UK. So
Wow.
it was essentially a web application that we were developing for them.
Yeah,
Nice.
Java.
Yeah.
Java has come by that time, Rashmi. I think you are a little bit more.
I started with IBM
monolithic.
I started with IBM mainframes.
Java. Yeah, I started with Java for few months. I was not good at software at that point of time, so I thought, no, this is probably not the right job for me to start my career with. Hence, I started searching, right? I wanted to move into something which is related to chemical engineering, and got an opportunity with Vedanta Aluminium. All three of us are from Odisha, so you guys know a place called Arsuguda where Vedanta was setting up a greenfield project. And I got a chance there, joined them as a graduate engineer trainee, worked there for almost 2.5 years and got to lead a team of around 90 people at that point of time, right? And
Wow, nice.
that gave me a lot of different perspectives about life, right? And these people that I was working with were not only, let's say, engineers or operators, but also people who were coming to the plant as a daily wage. So we had to work with them as well. And I was young, and so people management became very, very interesting at that point of time. I learned that, and since it was a greenfield project, and I was part of their commissioning team, and we used to call that startup, by the way, right? That our team was called startup team. I think at that point of time, probably I could not understand what the startup and all those things. But later on, when I founded a company, I thought, oh, that was also a startup, but in a very, very different scene, different scenario, right? But yeah, I think that gave a lot of experience with respect to how to start something from scratch, right? Where there is
Nice.
just a sort of framework is there and you build on top of that, right? So that's one
Right.
learning that I got. And so during this time, I also got inclined towards doing an MBA and started writing CAT and got into IIM Lucknow into 2010, right? So I spent 2 years there. And after that, I graduated in finance, worked with ICICI Bank for a year. I was sort of working with their corporate banking team. We were financing let's say, large loan deals for infrastructure projects. Worked there for a year. Then after that, started my first venture, right? And this time, as a co-founder, I joined one of my college senior who had started a preschool, chain. So it was very similar to what Kids, Euro Kids of the world looks like today. And so we started this as a low cost model, right? And I started looking after their marketing. And marketing was absolutely new for me at that point of time, right? I
Right.
came finance background. I did not take a single course on marketing, right? So when it came, then obviously learning, relearning, and that's something which had stayed with me. So I learned a lot of marketing, starting with, let's say, search engine optimization, right? Then
Mm.
social media marketing. So started learning that and started implementing, right? And see, that point of this was 2013 kind of time frame, right? And so one of the key thing was, hey, how do you generate content? If it is, let's say, SEO, you have to generate a lot of things, right? Your keywords, meta tags, and probably blogs and different type of content, right? It was very, very difficult for us at that point of time, uh, to generate content. But still, we managed with few team members and stuff like that, right? Uh, Ran that venture for almost couple of years, grew it to almost 43 schools across
Nice.
different states.
Wow.
And some of these schools were also profitable at a unit level, unit center level. So it was a great experience. First time entrepreneur, right? Got an exit. One of the brand from Bangalore sort of bought my stake, and I exited that venture, right?
Nice.
And I was thinking what to do. I mean, that point of time, I got something like 70, 80 lakhs rupees. I was 25 years old.
Nice. There's like open sesame kind of a thing.
Correct. So that point of time, I thought, yeah, it's a large amount of money. What to do?
Right.
Right. I think at a point of time, I went to a BMW showroom to buy a car. Right.
Did you buy it though?
No, I did not. I then thought, no, I think this would be a waste of money to buy at this point of time. I can settle with a
Nice.
regular, say, Indica is what I bought at point of. I settled with that. Then immediately put all that money into a second venture called Mediocre, and we started that. So it was late 2014. I think around November, December 2014 is when we sort of started that. And that point of time, again, it was very, very new for me. Mediocre was a technology business, and I had zero knowledge about technology at that
I
point of
see.
time.
Yeah, it's yeah.
So again, a new learning got started, right? Talked to people, assembled a core team, including, founding team who had technical expertise. And that point of time, we started talking about artificial intelligence,
Nice.
data science,
Wow.
right?
Wow.
So what we were building that point of time was a digital health record, which can sort of unify your health data, not just store it in PDFs, but actually read that data and give you insights, right? Uh, I think we were very early to market at point of time because I think machine learning was just a new thing that point of time, right? We started with OCR technology. How can we sort of take a, let's say, snap of it, take a snap of a prescription or a report and read data from that? That is
Correct, right,
the
right.
first challenge that we sort of solved. But it was very, very expensive, right? And since it was a regulated industry and our market was also outside of India, mainly USA, and they had a lot of healthcare regulations as well, right? Something like ICD-10, HLS-7, and those kind of standards were there. So we started building our platform. We had raised a small amount of friends and family round of around $120,000. And we built a prototype, went to market, had around 10,000 sort of users who were building their digital health record with us.
Nice, very
And
nice.
we tried, let's say, raising more capital. Unfortunately, that did not happen. We spent almost 4 years there. Then ultimately, we thought we'll close this because by that time I got married, I had a kid, and responsibilities increased, right? So we had to shut that venture down in 2018. And then I went back to regular job, and I got an opportunity with Big Basket, right?
Nice.
And
Yeah.
again, that was again a very, very different journey. It was so that time Big Basket had acquired a couple of smaller companies, and I joined marketing team to sort of save these two acquired companies. We rebranded that, and that brand is currently known as BB Daily.
Okay.
Nice.
So I was part of their core team from day zero. We grew to almost 120 crore monthly revenue, right?
Nice.
And we launched it across, I think, 10 cities. And we currently, they would have a couple of million, customers who are ordering grocery and milk through that platform, right? So launched a lot of new categories there. And that was an excellent journey, 3.5 years. Uh, then got another opportunity with a tech company called Freedom App. As a CMO, I joined them, and we were building, let's say, educational content for farmers and for small business owners and homemakers, right, in vernacular language.
Nice.
So we were teaching something like how do you start a mushroom farming, or how do we start a, let's say, kesar farming, right, or any exotic fruits, vegetable, all those things we used to, sort of sell. And at a point of time, we had close to 12 million, registered users on our platform.
Wow.
And we were also monetizing, a lot of it, right? So we were selling individual courses at something like 400 rupees, 500 rupees. And also we launched a platform where people who want to learn can connect with experts who have already done that particular farming, right?
Nice, very nice.
So through something like AstroTalk, where you can book an astrologer, here you could have an expert farmer who can guide you, right? Some of these features we launched. Then worked with another technology company called Giga Technologies for 1.5 years. And we were essentially setting up a global capability center for large fortune rated companies. And during this period, right, somewhere around 2022, OpenAI, launched. And
Yeah.
I think things changed completely.
Yes.
Yes, for us also.
I think that was what OpenAI launched is I think, technology which is going to save the future for at least next 20-25 years, right?
Yeah.
After that launch, of course, I was in a power where I gave the subscription to my team, right? The $20 subscription to my team, and team started experimenting. And this is where I think the first seed of Nagent got sort of sowed into the soil, right?
Very nice.
We started with simple tasks like blog generation, YouTube video description generation, and stuff like that, which was happening manually earlier, right? And probably a content writer would write 2 to 3 blogs a day maximum. Right? If he or she is super efficient, they can write a couple of blogs a day, which works, right? So we automated a lot of these things and increased the efficiency. Then started experimenting with image models.
Nice.
Again, related to YouTube. Okay, we started with, let's say, YouTube description. Then we thought, how can we improve the thumbnail?
Right.
Okay, yeah, that's the main thing.
Yeah, because I think CTR plays a very, very important role in success of a YouTube channel.
Right.
Started with thumbnails, right? Now we started with DALI, then a lot of new models came in after that. So experimented with many of these models, and over a period of time, we were able to automate a lot of these image generation as well.
Got it.
And I think somewhere around early 2024, when I was working with this company, Giga Technologies, we wanted to again produce some content, and we wanted to produce a music video in line of Big Bang Theory, right?
Okay.
Nice.
So we were again launching a series of podcasts, and we thought, that kind of theme would work best.
Yeah.
And this time we wanted to generate using AI, not go to a studio and shoot it, right? So this
Mm.
is where I first got introduced to video and audio models.
Okay.
Right? We tried and we produced a beautiful 3-minute video on this podcast, right? Stitching these 3, 4 models together. This is when this idea came. Hey, if I'm able to build this, a lot of people can build this, but why people are not building AI content, right? That is when I started sort of digging deep into these models and found that, hey, there are very few people who know actually how to make AI generated content work. And
Mm.
there is an opportunity here, right?
Right.
So that is how I think initially when we started Nagent, it was to create content. But as we went deeper, we found out there are probably hundreds to hundreds of other use cases which can be built very, very easily. And one of the key problem is a regular person, right? They probably do not know what AI can do for you. And that
Right.
is the exact problem we are trying to solve at Nagent, right? Uh, yeah, over to you, Satya and Rasmi. I think it was a long.
So,
Yeah, I think
right.
fabulous, interesting.
I love your journey. I mean, you started from an engineer, went to chemical plant, then moved to MBA, then went to finance, then from finance to marketing, doing startup, and then tech startup, then came back to marketing, leading teams in marketing. Now you're building tech products in marketing, in
Yeah,
content, right?
I think, yeah, sometimes few of my friends ask, right, what is your expertise area? I say to them, Bus, I do not have probably any expertise area. I know a little bit about different sectors. I worked in different sectors and different functions. So I know a little bit about all of them, but probably not an expert in anything. And that's how I want to keep myself. I think learning is something which I love. And as I got exposed to multiple industries, multiple functions, the learning sort of increased manifold.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
right. We all are
So,
learning. Others, like this is an area like which is still evolving and being humble and trying to say that we are still trying to understand the models and helping others who are newbies. That's the I think a role that we should all be playing. I think that is really interesting.
absolutely. So one point I would like to, I mean, if I can iterate or expand upon, you mentioned ChatGPT kind of changed the entire paradigm, right? What do you think really happened with ChatGPT? Is it that the access to AI got really, really easy? Because before ChatGPT, I meant you have to build your machine learning model, you have to have your training data, which you have to train for like months, weeks, and months. And even then, it was not giving very good result out, right? But here with ChatGPT, either with the chat prompt itself or with API, simple API calls, you could access power of AI, generative AI in a way. Uh, is this the major change, or was there something else also which essentially made the entire thing work?
Yeah, I think one of the key things that changed with ChatGPT was ease of use, right? Before that,
Yes.
very few people had access, as you rightly said, right? I think probably those were the researcher, AI researcher, and people from big tech had access
Mhm.
to some of these AI, right? ChatGPT made it very, very easy to access and easy to interact with. That is point number one.
Right.
Point number two is generative AI, right? Before that, AI was there, but it was not generative,
Right.
right? So it was not able to solve a lot of common use cases. Now,
Mm.
ChatGPT was first to sort of release a generative AI product. Of course, before that, Google had it, but they chose not to release it probably because of whatever reasons, right?
Mm.
Uh, but ChatGPT made it really accessible and very, very easy for a non-technical user to even get access to AI. And this is when it
Right.
exploded. Right? And
Yeah.
I think another thing that helped ChatGPT was the market also created a lot of buzz around it. Before that, let's say wave one of AI, there was not much sort of noise in the market, right? ChatGPT created that. That is where the awareness also increased manifold.
Yeah, right. I think the main thing that helped was the comprehensiveness and the ease of use, which actually was the decisive factor. I remember, like, we all are techies here, like we have been through our engineering career in our IT role. I remember we used to have data scientists who used to train those models over and over, and there used to be test data, there would be training data, and you can, like, as simple product managers or engineers who were there, it was not easy to comprehend. You have to have people who have to make things easier for you. Like, I can relate it to now, because once ChatGPT was open, now everybody was able to use it, put their ideas, and get the responses immediately. The ease of use, the access of use, maybe because there was no barriers, people can actually go and play there. That was a bold step in any realm of AI. That is, I think, the stepping stone of the new generation, which actually unfurled, and now we are seeing this new age coming into picture. Still, there are a lot of things to be discovered, because with no barriers or no entries, I think there comes a confusion because there is no proper direction. But the one thing is that there would be now new avenues or new opportunities has risen up. So that is something which is really, really interesting and exciting for everyone. And I think we all are sitting here and discussing about it. It is because of that particular moment. Just like UPI started because of the demonetization, I think the release of ChatGPT was another moment which led us to what we are today and how we are evolving and talking about the future of AI.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, Satya. I think after ChatGPT released, right, the innovation in this generative AI space has really skyrocketed, right? I think when I was talking to people in 2015, that point of time, they were telling me, what do you do with this data that you are collecting? Yeah, how do you get insight out of this data? Who is going to read these data, right? So now people don't ask that question, right? That is number one. Number two is, after ChatGPT came, people again thought that this is it, right? No, beyond this, nothing would happen. But we know that last 2 years, the innovations in generative AI space has been really mind-boggling, right? There are probably thousand or 10,000s of AI models that are out there. If we look, let's say, at platforms like Hugging Face, there are so many large language models, so many small models, so many image models, video models, right? And I think all this was possible because of ChatGPT. And of course, these companies are eating into ChatGPT's market share, and they will continue to do so, is what I believe. But still, I think what ChatGPT did was something like what Apple did to mobile phones uh,
Yes.
in 2005. I think I would compare these two events, hand in hand.
Absolutely. I think if I put it this way, so with ChatGPT and generative AI that they introduced, it is not a new concept, but I think they got it introduced to common public in a very easy way. And that has kind of given us superpowers if we know how to leverage AI or generative AI in a way. And I actually mean it very, very strongly, because I think I have been thinking about generative AI in the past 2 months a lot. Not before that as much, but in the past 2 months a lot. And earlier, I used to code back in 2010. Since 2010 onwards, I had not coded. And when I was coding primarily on mainframes. And then I did a little bit of web technology, PHP and stuff, but then moved into product side of things. So for 15 years, I didn't have any experience in coding, right? But with the tools of AI that has come along, I have now started coding again. I'm loving it. And
Yeah.
I could build products out in this 2 months period. I had built one SaaS product end to end. I have built a web page, or you can call it a web framework completely, which can go and have landing pages with CMS, custom CMS, backend stuff, and it just works. And third, I essentially built agentic AI, Twitter or X, automated reply guy, reply girl kind of thing, or engaging on post, relevant post, right? I call it XAI Gent. And that I built it in a single day. So it is, if I can do this, who hasn't have a experience in coding for 15 years, I've got a basic understanding and in product background, then I can just imagine what kind of superpowers people will be having and experiencing, right? And I'm just talking about one area, and there are like multiple, so many areas which are there, like for content creation. I'm pretty sure you would be having such aha moments as well in content creation.
No, absolutely. I think, as I told, I also did not like coding at the beginning because I did not know how to do it, right? It was very difficult for me to do. Now, today, with help of certain tools, like including, let's say, Claude or ChatGPT, I'm able to code. And with agentic AI, in fact, I also built something, in couple of hours for my wife, right? She runs a
Nice.
clinic, and I had to build a website for her with some basic features like appointment booking and invoice generation and so on and so forth, right? I was able to do it in couple of hours without any coding knowledge.
Nice.
I was able to deploy it as well, right? Now,
Which tool do you use?
this tool is called bold.new.
Boatner, yeah, I think we all have the experience. Nice. It is very nice.
Yeah. And I think this is where the world is going, right? That coding, probably anybody would be able to do in future, but what to code is something which people still need to think, right? This is where
Yes.
the IT or the thought process would come in. And I think that is true with any other use case that we look at. If you know what you want to produce, there would be an AI teammate of yours who would be able to do it for you,
Right.
right? That
Yeah.
is where I think the world is going. So there is recent talk about 90-hour work days or work weeks, right? Now, I think people don't need to work that many hours, I feel.
Yeah, they need to work smarter specifically. You don't need to spend too much time on things that are redundant. Probably like creating blogs. You don't need to spend 4 hours to create one blog. Maybe 15 minutes is sufficient. You have the framework in mind, you do it.
Yeah.
And in fact, like interesting thing in my previous avatar, previous life, I was working on a marketplace, and in that for that, the developers were creating apps, and they were spending a lot of time generating the app description, app details, adding keywords, SEO. And imagine being a hardcore developer, you have to write those content. You have to what content they would be writing. So then that's the time when the aha moment came to me when I started utilizing Gen AI. We started utilizing them, and it unblocked the developers to such an extent that using the description of the app or the functionality of the code, the generation content could be generated, and the apps would be in the marketplaces in a much better descriptive fashion. So it just removes the bottlenecks that you used to have. You don't have to rely on a team to actually do something. I think this could be a era where a solopreneur would be more proficient. A single person standing and creating a strategy and having agents or bots supporting on all activities, be it marketing, be it content generation, be it strategy, and all you have to do is do planning effectively. I think that's the era where we will be soon reaching, and I think with the products are going to be really, really
Yeah.
immense and immersive.
I think, yeah, you are right, Satya. We are not very far away where a single person can build $1 billion company, right?
I am looking forward to that. I would love to see single person building $1 billion company. I think then we'll start having new benchmarks for VCs who say, okay, you have to have $1 trillion valuation or an aim to go public. This doesn't end. I think back in 2015, I think $1 million was a big thing.
Correct.
Now it is $1 billion that you cannot, if you're raising VC fund and you say exit is below $1 billion, you will not get funded. So I think in another 10 years, we'll be getting, if an exit is below $1 trillion, you'll not get funded
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. If we break that down, right, how can that happen? Right? If there is a single person with a great idea, but let's say have limited resource, right? How can that happen?
Hmm.
Now, the first thing that an entrepreneur needs is a team. Without team, nothing can happen, right?
Correct.
Now, probably a tech team, right? First thing is a tech team if it is a tech product. If it is not a tech product, probably marketing team, right? There you have to produce content, do SEO, do all sorts of marketing, right? Uh, then third Third could be if it is a physical product, probably designing that product, right? That is where, sort of product and engineering comes into picture, right? So all these things, if we see today, can be very effectively done by what already is existing in the market, right? And if we look at next 2-3 years, probably by 2017, 2018, 2028, right? A lot of these agents would have matured, or a lot of these models would have matured enough to do a much better job than an average employee or average team member, right? But I think the importance of good team member would not go away, right? If one person can think of something, when two people meet and brainstorm, the ideas would be much better,
Yes,
right?
that's
This is where I think a lot of these things that were being done by people who were not so creative, those things would be automated using AI agents. Still, I think it should, creative thought and, problem solving, emotional intelligence, those kind of things, I think humans have to become better at that.
I think, yeah,
Uh,
it puts a target on us. Like, how do we be better than what we were earlier?
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, I think I will add one more point to what you just said, right, Pratap. So if I understand, or if I speculate for the future, it is so today a marketing team consists of 10 people, right? Or a tech team consists of 15 people. The operations teams consist of 20 people. Let's say you want to run a scale software product, even, or SaaS product in general. You've got customer service, you've got this and finance function and so many, right? And you get multiple people because a workload is high and you have to distribute and get things out, right? That number is going to come down drastic, right? I don't need a 10-member a tech team to build a company anymore. I can probably do it with 2 people team, 2 smart folks who can understand, who can use these AI agents or agentic AI bots, and then can spin off five each, and they can manage it, right? That management part will still be there. I don't know, self-management will still coming out and coming to extent that will do. If it does, it is great. I can understand from a tech point of view that, okay, there are many places where it gets stuck, but so we have to keep on directing these people or guide them. I was talking to a friend of mine. He said, like, agentic AI models or these cursors or the boards are like freshers, which you have to guide them. You have to
Absolutely.
give them to where you want to take them, right? They cannot go and give you product out, but if you can guide them correctly, then you can get multiple outputs going if you can do that. So that's where the skills will start becoming a lot more viable.
In fact, I was attending one of the Lightspeed's AI events, which was happening in Bangalore, and there were a lot of discussions on that front. Like, where are things heading towards, and what would be the next steps of AI? One of the key things that was all like that, like a lot of people or founders are working on, researching on, is the productivity area, where things can be, you can be a better self of yourself, and a best agent which can understand what you are thinking and providing you the capabilities that are there. We are all using chat GPTs on daily life. But I think we need a kind of a team or agent, probably an assistant which can help us do the things better. I think that's an area where a lot of improvement needs to happen. The productivity and the agentic AI model, which will help becoming a better self of yours. I have been using a lot of tools in daily life for be more productive. Pratap, like coming to you on this front, what type of AI tools that you think you are using on your life and which has actually created an impact on you? And probably also professionally as a founder, which has made you much better.
I think as a founder, one of the key thing that we look at is, we attend a lot of meetings, first of all, right? And in these
Right,
meetings, when you are speaking or engaged in a discussion, probably you would not take notes, right?
right.
You expect that one of your team member or somebody would send you an MOM, right? And if that MOM is actionable, that's even better, right? If that MOM says that, hey, this person has to do this by this date and so on and so forth, right? So there is one tool which I use called Otter.ai, I think, right? And this guy attends all my meetings. I mean, joins with me in all my meetings and take notes. And at the end of the day, I look at their dashboard and see that, hey, these are the 5 things which are on my plate. Let me take it and execute it, right? So that is where I'm able to keep a tab of what I am supposed to do as a person. At the same time, what was discussed in these meetings, right? So that probably I can follow up and get these things done, right? So that is one clear tool that I'm using for productivity. Then second thing was, let's say, simple thing, writing emails, right? We spend a lot of time in writing emails. And, when we write a, let's say, professional email, we have to edit and spend probably 15 minutes time to write a nice email and edit it and then send it, right? So now using, let's say, simple tools like ChatGPT or Claude, I train one of the chat window and it sort of adapts to my style and I give input on what I wanted to write, right? And I don't need a Grammarly now. Earlier, I was, let's say, using Grammarly, grammars or spellings and stuff like that. Now, I mean, these tools give that to me, right? And I just take 2-3 minutes to write an email and send it. So that is another area where I use. I think I have stopped writing emails myself. I just give my input to ChatGPT and it writes, right? And I edit it, right? So I save a lot of time there. Then, so being a founder, I'm also a marketer, right? I'm doing marketing even for my business. I take care of branding and marketing, right? And there I had to generate social media posts, even for myself, right? Earlier I was not able to do that because personally I'm an introvert. I had this, let's say, block that, hey, if I write this, what do people think? Right. And because of it, yeah, I was not posting at all, right? Probably once in a while I will post, right? Something I'll just, sort of take a link and repost it probably, right? I was not able to sort of be very, very active on platforms like LinkedIn or Twitter, right? Now, with help of generative AI, I have overcome that writer's block that I had. Now
Nice.
I am able to, whatever thoughts I have or whatever knowledge I have, I'm able to simply use, tools. I started it from, ChatGPT. I started using ChatGPT for that. Then, this is something which we have built in our platform as well. And last couple of months, I have been using my, Nagent platform to generate these posts and automate it, right? So this helps in personal branding as well as getting the early leads for a early stage founder. That's gold, right? If we get
Yeah.
Right.
incoming leads, and definitely every founder out there should do their personal branding and try to leverage platforms like LinkedIn and Twitter.
Yes.
Go to even, why not, Instagram and YouTube? That is also there. Now you can create videos using your thoughts. You don't need a team of 5 members to produce a video. So I think it creates a lot of new opportunities. It opens up as we start using generative AI. I think whatever work I was able to do in 2 hours, I'm able to do it in probably 20 minutes. I have
Right.
personally seen 10x improvement in all aspect of what I do for my work
Nice.
using generative AI.
Nice. What about the image tools or video tools that you use? Anything specific that stuck with you?
So a couple of models which I like the most. One is Midjourney. This is where you can create, very good images. Another model that I use extensively is Flux
Flux.
Pro.
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah. So yeah, I think these two models are very, very capable. And if you, let's say, use these models in conjunction with couple of other models, if you chain them together, then the result is even better.
Nice.
Yeah, I
So
think
all
I
these
remember.
models, good.
Sorry, I remember you mentioning that you're using a chain of different models, different applications to even create content as an agent, right? So what are some of those? Like, if you can share it, if it is public knowledge, if you can share them, that would be great.
So I think if we take a use case like I want to create a AI influencer, for example, right? I want to, let's say, create a Odia influencer who talks about Konark Temple, Puri Temple, and stuff like that, right? I want a Odia girl, for example, right? Now I can create that model or that person using Flux or Midjourney. Both of these tools should be able to do that for you, right? Now,
Mm-hmm.
once you generate the image of that particular person, you want to create video using that particular person's image that you have just created. Right? So there, in order to create video from images, there are models like Kling AI, which is good. Then there is Minimax from, these two are Chinese models, but they're extremely, extremely good. China is, I think, way ahead in AI race when it comes to India. Obviously, with respect to India, they are way ahead, but with respect to US also, they are ahead now. So
Yeah, that's true.
these models are really good. Then we use Pika Labs and Runway as well, Runway ML to do certain things with these models, right? Now, these video models actually create video without audio,
Hmm.
right? Now, if you want to put, let's say, voiceover on top of it, I use 11 Labs if it's a, let's say, English or any other foreign language. If it is Indian language, there is an Indian startup called Smallest AI. We have been trying their product, and Indian accent is really good for them.
Oh, that's
Nice.
great.
Yeah. And I think now in towards late 2024, 2025, Indian AI companies are picking up now, right? And
Nice.
lately their product is also really, really good. And I feel, 2025 would be the year for Indians to build a lot of new things, and probably AI agents would be one of them, right? Similarly, so if you want to put some background music to that video,
Uh,
right? We used to use Suno AI,
Hmm.
but now we are also using something called Beethoven, which is again founded by one Indian. Their headquarters is, I think, based out of Bangalore only. So their music generation tool is also really, really good, right? So
Nice.
we put these models together and chain them together to produce a video which is production grade.
Wow.
wow, that's really like inspiring.
So have you
Creating
tried
all these things.
creating a sorry, have you tried creating a model for yourself and acting in your video?
Yes, yes, absolutely. We created a character called Mira Nomad.
Okay.
So this got in the we so I'm a I play computer games, right?
Gotcha.
Hmm.
And one game which stayed with me was Age of Empires. I don't know if
We all love that.
That's
It's
my
so
favorite game.
addictive.
right. So
Yeah.
there is a map called Nomad where you don't get a
No.
town center kind of thing. You have to find a
Right.
place, build your city there, right? So we took inspiration from there, and we thought, let's create a model who is a travel influencer, and this is a lady, Indian lady we created, and we this was couple of months back. We created a video, we brought her to India, and that
Okay.
video went really viral.
Oh,
Okay,
is
on
it?
Wow.
LinkedIn alone, we got close to 100,000 views within a span
Wow.
of 15 days, right? And
What's the name of that?
Mira Nomad, I will send
Yeah.
you the link.
Yeah, we can share it with the
Nice.
audience also.
Correct. So, that was something which kind of helped us get lot of eyeballs from the market because the video was really, really good, right?
Nice.
And we were able to sort of have her lip synced when she was speaking. We in fact created multiple videos of her to see if we are able to maintain the consistency with respect to
Hmm.
her, character, and we were able to do that. So we produced multiple videos using our workflow, and now lot of our we got a lot of customers, prospective customers, right, who wants to now build their own AI influencer for their brand. Or there are influencers who were not able to create content earlier because they were probably camera shy, or they did not have the kind of equipments which is required to tell a story. These people are now thinking that, hey, we can create our own, let's say, avatar or a model, and whatever we had to say, whatever stories we have to say, we will be able to say it. And this is something which I had the opportunity to also talk to our prime minister recently for probably 30 seconds, where
Yes.
Wow. That's important. That's an interesting topic. I'll come to that. I'll have like 5-10 minutes for that alone. We should talk. But yeah,
yeah,
go on.
I think Mira Nomad is what launched us, and this is where we saw that we have something which probably not many people know how to build it, and
Hmm.
we will build it as a platform where anybody can create their influencer and create content using these models. And then, of course, we see a lot of use cases of these AI influencer a lot.
So,
Yeah.
funny thing, I had just tweeted or posted on X yesterday, or it was yesterday or today, yesterday mostly, that today we find human influencers posting and promoting AI products, AI tool, and these AI tool then become AI influencers and drive the human influencers out of business.
Yeah.
Matter of 2 years, right?
In fact, we were actually discussing one fine morning, like me and Rashmi always talk every morning for 1 hour and all. And we were discussing, hey, you know what? Like the LinkedIn's and the X is now with the AI SDRs and AI agents. Now, it should slowly it is getting to a trend where AI agents are interacting or communicating with AI influencer posts. So it will soon happen that agents are only talking to each other. So it's no human there.
Yeah, I
So
think, yeah, I think we don't know what is going to happen, right? I think we have reached a stage where it would be very, very difficult to even tell whether this is a real person or an AI person. I have heard that, some people put their agent in front for an interview, and this guy in a virtual interview, and this guy, their agent is able to only talk, right? So you really don't know what is going to happen. Probably, as in couple of years, a lot of things would be more clear. And I think one movie comes to my mind, Matrix.
yes.
One of the all-time favorites,
it's
right?
it, all time.
We
Yeah, it's
start
happening
living in the
real.
matrix.
Correct. Correct.
Okay,
I
so
think,
now
yeah, some
let's,
checks and boundaries will happen now. Go ahead, Rashmi.
yeah, sorry. I wanted to talk about your meeting with the PM of India, Sri Narendra Modi ji. So tell me about your experience. What got you there? What was this opportunity? What kind of people did you meet? And how was your interaction with the PM?
Yeah. I think first of all, I saw him for the very first time, like in real, right? And I think I was mesmerized by his aura and his knowledge and what he is thinking for the country. That is forgiven, right? I think he's very, very knowledgeable and very hardworking. So this I met him at an event which was organized by Ministry of Youth Affairs on occasion of Swami Vivekananda's birthday, which is celebrated as National Youth Day. So this time the theme, what they wanted to do was sort of invite almost 3,000 young leaders from across the country, and these young leaders are essentially people who still studying in schools, colleges, and or they are involved in some of the fields like social work. Some of them are working in various fields, right? Somebody is working in farming. So this 3,000 people were selected based on a 3-month process, right? And all of them came to Delhi, and the job was to create a strategy for Vikasit Bharat by 2047, right? That is the,
Nice.
I think, mission of our Prime Minister, how to make India a developed country, right? And they wanted to know the view of young India, the youth of India, because by 2047, these people who are in college today would be leading India. They would be in
Right.
their 40s and 50s, right? So how these people want to see India a developed country, right? That was the theme. So they had 11 themes altogether from different fields. One of the theme was technology for Vikasit Bharat. Then there was a theme called Virasat Bhi, Vikas Bhi, Virasat Bhi. I mean, how can you develop without harming your culture or taking your culture, hand in hand? There was another theme called Startup for Vikasit Bharat, how to make India the startup capital of the world. And there were few other themes, one around sustainability, one around agriculture, and multiple other things, right? So there were these 11 tracks. These young leaders were divided into these tracks, right? And I got this opportunity to come in as a youth icon to talk to these young people and sort of help them, mentor them to prepare a presentation which they would present it from in front of the Prime Minister and
Nice.
other ministers, right? So
Nice.
that is how I got into this, and I was part of this track called Technology for Vikasit Bharat. One of Pratyush Kumar, who is the founder of Sarvam AI, was also part of that particular track, right? So that is how we got into it. And so Prime Minister came at around 10 o'clock. Then, he had a lot of energy, of course, right? I think I was feeling bad that we did not have that kind of energy which he showed. He sat through the entire presentation couple of hours and gave really, really good feedback, right? He was
Nice.
very attentive, and that sort of, I had a very, very lasting impression of what all the suggestions which he made, right? I mean, definitely he's thinking very, very long term, and he's very committed to make India a developed nation, right? And one of the things which he spoke in this particular session was related to culture and technology, right? Of course, AI is everywhere. How can India use AI to make its culture alive?
Hmm.
Right. That was one key point, key message which I took away. So this is where I connected that with our AI influencers, right? Let's say, for example, we have Konark Temple, which is
Correct.
destroyed, right? We really do not know how it would have looked like.
Right.
We just have whatever we have read in the books that, okay, it was like this. There were so many horses. It was in between a sea, and this is how it was constructed, right?
Yeah.
But we are not able to visualize how it would have looked like,
Right.
how people would have built it, right? What was the architecture like? Now, with generative AI, I think if these tools are given to creators who know how Konark Temple could have looked like, they
Hmm.
would make that temple alive, right?
Yes.
Similarly, lot of our, cultural places has been destroyed over the period
Hmm.
of time.
You're right.
We can get a sense, our next generation can get a sense that, hey, this is how India was, 100 years, 500 or 1,000 years back, right? That is one thing. Second thing is, India also is a land of lot of great personalities, right? Whether you talk about Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, our father of nation,
Uh-huh.
or somebody like Swami Vivekanand or Chanakya, or people who had written, great number of books, right? And some of these books are also already lost, but whatever is there, it still lies in books, and not many people read books, right? If, let's say, we can make these persons' character alive, and if people can talk to them when in need, right? It's just like talking with that real person and getting an advice, right? A lot of things would change if you're able to do that, right? How can we, make these knowledge which is sort of getting lost to come to the forefront through these interactions, right? This is something which he spoke about. Another thing was, see, nowadays gaming is Gen Z plays a lot of games, right? And how can we gamify a lot of these things so that, whatever we are learning, it stays with us? And AI can very well do it in quick time, right? So these are some of the things which he suggested for this track. But apart from that, I think AI was everywhere. I think, can impact sustainability. AI can impact a lot of things. Yeah, it was, I think, a great moment for me personally, to sort of introduce what we are trying to build, and it was inspiring to sort of hear his feedback as well.
Amazing. Amazing.
Very amazing. Nice.
One thing that I struck me while you were speaking about this was that, like, how do you take a culture with AI, right? And one of the key part about the culture of India is that most of the culture of India were never written in books, in texts, right? It was told in stories. Now, I still remember when I used to go to my village, there are so many small stories which has gone on and stayed on for like millennials, right?
Yeah.
I think if I have to put it in a way, that culture and what is getting lost, these stories and folk tales and small things which is probably very unique to a single village, or let's say there is a village and there's a hill by the village, and they will be having different stories to tell to this kids about those things, right? I think those are something which are getting lost a lot, and I see a great contribution of AI to build this, make this stories, age-old stories come alive, right? Probably stories which are there with our grandparents right now. I would not say when we know, or our
Yeah.
fathers know, but our grandparents know. That can be preserved to a certain extent, and then kind of uh, without really putting the judgment hat on, right? So I think we have with years, hundreds and hundreds of years of rules of different kind of, starting with Mughals, then with the Britishers, we have kind of lost our affection towards our culture a lot, right? But if that can be set aside and the stories can be recreated with AI, with tools like what you have done with Mira Nobad, that would be amazing to go in a culture point of view in general. I mean,
Correct, correct.
that's just
Absolutely.
something that came to my mind while you're speaking.
I think one of the thing, like my brother has a kid like who's actually growing up in Hyderabad, and they're in all urban kids. But I always have this fond memories of all the festivals. Like we are all Odia here, and we have all those sort of festivals like Kartika Purnima, and that I come from place Cuttack where we have those Pali Yatras and everything. That it's been ages that I've been there, and but our young generation who are having they are growing up in cities and places with multicultural things where they're learning new things. But the thing that is there, it is actually getting lost in translation. Probably our grandparents also they would be talking about it, but it's all up to their imagination. It's all the story. Now with this visualizations AI, the individual region-based cultures also can be foretold in a form of a gamification or in a form of a stories that they will be in. So today everybody is hooked to that Pokemon or probably the stories about those cats. Like every kid today, they will see those videos and they will eat. Just imagine the area wherein AI can create the stories about our old days, our Odia festivals and everything, the story, how things have happened. And probably when they would be eating with that food and all, it stays with them and they will be also growing fondness towards that. Probably they will, when they develop with AI, they will be a better human centric person. And the when they become founders or when they lead, they actually know where their roots are and where the whole world is heading. Today, it's very blurry. So I think this is an area where we can absolutely have more innovations or probably more focused startups in that area. It's a great
Uh,
initiative by our Prime Minister. I
No,
appreciate
absolutely,
it.
I agree. So I'll give you a personal example. I have a daughter who is 7 year old, right? So every night she would ask for a story,
Hmm.
and we don't have those stories now.
We don't have those stories.
Grandparents always
Grandparents
used to have.
used to have it. Now we don't have those stories, and we go to internet, find something, and try to tell it, right? But the way I tell it is probably she doesn't enjoy. Let's say, right? Now, if I have the mechanism where I can show it or narrate it in a particular way, she would be probably more engaged, right? This is one area where I was struggling and still struggle. Second area is he asks a lot of questions. Why does rain happen? Right? And see, like when she was 5 year old, she was asking me these questions. How does rain happen? Right? Now I could have simply said it happens by God's grace, or I can explain it scientifically. Right?
Right, right.
These were the two options I had. I thought, let me try and explain it to her scientifically. I said, okay, water evaporates, it goes and does like this, right? Now, when I'm telling this, probably she was not able to connect how these things happen because
Right.
I was just telling, and it is up to her imagination how she imagines this, right?
Hmm.
Now, these kind of things also can be very well narrated using AI, right? So I think learning is another area, right, which is going to get transformed, right? When we used to learn physics, we used to just look at books. Okay, this is how atoms move in a three-dimensional thing. We were learning in a two-dimensional book, right?
Hmm.
So imagine, if you can create, simulate a physics principle, right? The way people would learn would be very, very different. Probably we can't imagine that those kind of learning can happen. Probably in next couple of years that would happen. Now, physics models have also come in which
Right, right.
understand laws of physics, and it's just a matter of time, I feel.
I think
uh,
AI tutor is an area I think which will be has to see much more innovation. This is an area if it becomes better, it will give rise to a lot of young leaders also in that area. Coming to that topic, I think this is we were talking about the upcoming trends which are going to shape the future of 2025 and beyond. And productivity is one of the area. AI tutor is another area. What else? What are the trends that you see that would be shaping the future? And what is the future that you envisage in the age of AI that we are in?
yeah. I feel in future, right, all of us would have a team of AI agents, our personal agents as such, right? Like, let's say if I have a, let's say, set of people, let's say, or my friends, let's say, sometime I will ask them, hey, Satya, can you do this thing for me?
Mm.
Right? Or, hey, XYZ person, can you do this thing for me? Right? I think similarly, we would have our personal agents and we would be telling these agents what needs to be done. Right? So this is where I feel would be a major, area where personal agents would help individuals to achieve their work. Right? Of course, we know about business agents like marketing agents or coding agents. Those agents would anyway be there, but for an individual, AI agents would help them achieve a lot of things. Whether it is learning, whether it is, let's say, booking travel, whether it is, let's say, getting some insights about your health, planning your meal, probably, helping you come up with a new, let's say, recipe for a dish that you want to try out, right? All these personal agents would take your preference and sort of build something for you, right? And I think we are also going into physical intelligence in a couple of years where even if it's cooking, a probably robot would cook for us. If I think that's not very far away. And with this kind of thing, one key challenge that would come up would be about security, right? Because all these AI would consume your data.
Mhm.
And if you have seen internet and social media platforms, all these platforms business models are built on your data. How can they monetize your personal data? And with AI agents, I think we would be much more vulnerable. And I think governments has to probably put up regulations with respect to data protection. Even companies has to be proactive, and that's where I see a lot of new business model would come in. And I think the fact that data is the new oil, that is
Mm.
going to be true. I think so far enterprises were using our data to monetize for themselves. Now is
Mhm.
the time where individuals have to sort of own and control their own data.
Mm.
And that's one key area which I do not know how it is going to happen, but I think that's an area where I think leaders like us should also focus and create awareness that protecting your personal data is very, very important. And with, let's say, something like AI agents or AI avatars, right? Another thing would be identity theft that can
Correct.
happen. And we are seeing so many frauds happening. Somebody would say, hey, I'm a CBI officer and I'm doing internet arrest of you and extorting money. Now imagine tomorrow, imagine on a, video call, if somebody creates my avatar and that
Mm.
guy speaks to my brother and says, hey, this guy is had an accident, you send him 5 lakh rupees.
Mm.
What do you do? So that's one area which is of concern, like identity theft and data protection. I think that's one key area where all of us have to focus.
So coming on this video podcast like this is actually a deterrent to security because people can take our photos, voice, expressions, and then create clones of us, digital clones of us, and talk to people. That's scary.
Yeah, I think there needs to be more check and balances. Like as we see more innovations coming in with more detailed use cases, there needs to be innovations happening to containerize or build guardrails around it. And along with that, there would be also innovations to build benchmark all around this. So innovation cannot happen with one. It has to happen in 360-degree with guardrails, with benchmark to ensure that it stays within limit. Of course, there will be rogues everywhere, but that's the beauty of it. Any innovation that happens has to have those three boundaries and the area where it has to succeed. Otherwise, it's like a snake eating its own tail where it consumes the entire humanity that has built it. Of course, we have seen in movies, we have seen Matrix, we have seen Terminators, and that's where our fears and anxiety are coming in. But yes, one side we are happy, another side we are skeptical. But whatever is happening, I think it's really going to be exciting for humankind. I think that's where we are all hoping.
Yeah. I think technology had been like that. Like if you take technology like fire was one of the first probably technology that we sort of used as humans, right? Fire
Mm.
has that capability to destroy everything, and we had seen how if fire is not controlled, what happened in Los Angeles. those kind of things happen, right? Initially, when fire came, similar thing. People were very, very afraid that this thing can kill all of us. But then we come up with technology which controlled fire, and we invented a lot of things which sort of fire in your pocket kind of thing, right? We have lighters, which is nothing but fire in our pocket kind of
Absolutely.
things, right? So similar kind of things would come. Like you, I'm very positive about AI, very, very bullish about AI, but there are certain things which needs to be controlled, like we did it with fire.
Absolutely. I think great thought. I think you are bang on on this one. With that, like we are approaching to the end of this segment, and while it has been a great discussion, Pratap, and I think we will be talking more about it because this one podcast, I think it was very short. I didn't know when this 60 minutes went away. I think we should talk more. And we are also thinking about creating an agentic AI community in Bangalore and other ways where new innovations are brought into light. People bring up these thoughts and discussions so that purposeful founders come forward and build things which are really useful for the future. So, Pratap, like, how do people reach out to you if they want to talk more about Nagent or probably hear more about thoughts about the AI?
Yeah,
What is the best medium for that?
the best medium. I'm very, very active on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is where people can find me, and I'll be super fast in responding, at least at this point of time. Then we
And
haven't
it is you responding on LinkedIn, not your AI agent, right?
not yet. I think I would continue to respond myself because I think this is human to human connection, right? I believe in
Right.
that. So I'll continue to do that. And I think the next way, apart from LinkedIn, people can reach out to me on my email address as well. I can give you the email address and people can reach out to me. These would be the two
Amazing.
best way to reach out. And yeah,
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
amazing.
I think it was a blast talking to you. I loved it. There are so many things that I learned about it. I have like a full page of notes that I was taking to just talk about, points to talk about, not what you're saying. And I could not cover all of them even. So it's like we should meet again.
Yeah,
We
we
should talk
should have a
again.
part two of this discussion very soon.
Yes,
definitely,
and I
definitely.
would
In
love
fact,
to see some more videos where your AI influencer and probably an AI influencer having 100,000 followers would be amazing to see on Instagram. And if that can happen, I mean, that's how things will be amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely.
absolutely. And we will add all those links to those videos as well as a link to the legend and the ways to connect Pratap and to us also on that. And soon we are also creating one community on LinkedIn wherein we all can join and have our more detailed discussion about the future of AI and how we are going to make a beautiful world out of it. So with
Absolutely.
that,
And I think one more thing you
go ahead.
mentioned while talking on the other day was you have created a community in Bangalore for AI people interested in AI, right? That's something that you can share about maybe before going, and we
Yeah.
can then wrap it up.
Yeah, I think this community was started by me and a couple of other people who are also founders of agentic AI companies, right? So the idea was India missed essentially first two waves of AI, right? First wave was analytical AI. Probably we were okay there. Generative AI, which was the second wave, India completely missed, right? We
Mm,
probably have one or two companies who are doing decent in India. We thought, I think Indian people thought that only it would be going to be open AI. But now we see there are probably hundreds of models which are doing extremely well, right?
right.
And we missed that particular wave. Now, this is the third wave of generative AI, which is agentic AI. And I think
Mm,
no country is better prepared for this than India
right.
because of what we have, the people that we have, right? We can build awesome applications by
Right.
using these models which are already there. And that
Mm,
was the whole motive, that more and more people should build agents, and we should be the leader in agentic AI. India as a country should be leader in agentic AI, and that's the only motive with which we thought there are so many people who are talking about it. Let's bring them together and share with each other, collaborate with each other to create a community where we can help each other and learn from each other to build something which is great. In fact,
amazing.
towards end of January, we are planning a physical meetup in Bangalore, and yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yes, sure.
Amazing. Amazing.
Amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, I
Thank
think
you very
go,
much,
go,
Pratap.
go.
It was a nice talking to you. Enjoyed the talk over here. There's so many things that we can talk over. I think I'll go over. I'll hand it over to Satya over there. but I enjoyed talking to you.
Me too. I think it was really insightful, and for our viewers also. And we are going to have a part 2, and definitely we are going to meet up in that agentic AI community, which is going to happen. We will have more such discussions. I think people like us who can get together with the same roots. I think we are there to make a difference. And I think this is an era where we should not wait. We should be executing and making the difference. That with
Thanks a
that,
lot.
with that,
Yeah.
I think thank you, Pratap. It was great having you in the discussion, and we will soon be in touch.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot,
Bye.
Satya
Thank
and
you.
Ras- Thank you.
Bye.
This was my first podcast of my life. Right. I was in a position where I was letting I conducted podcasts. I launched podcasts for the companies where I was working. But
Mhm.
this was the first podcast where I am coming in and talking. And
Nice.
thanks for
You
inviting.
you did an amazing job, man. I love that our talk, and like,
Yeah.
we should do more about it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully it was good. Let's see.
It was really good.
Absolutely.
Thank you for tuning on to the Founder Stories podcast. Today, we hope today's session with our incredible guest was interesting and inspiring. If you enjoyed this conversation, be sure to subscribe and leave a review and share it with the network. Stay tuned as we continue to bring the stories of more extraordinary founders, explore the groundbreaking strategies, and showcase the latest AI tools and innovations that are shaping the future. Until next time, keep dreaming big and turning challenges into opportunities. See you in the next episode. Bye.